Hey everyone, thanks again for tuning in. In today's video we've got, I think it's part 5 of a series of JobLot videos that I'm doing. There's only one more to come after this, and then we'll do a final video tallying up everything that we've seen so far. But in this particular lot, I purchased it for, I think it was £30. Some of the watches are working, some of them aren't. They probably just need batteries, or I'm hoping that is the case. They're all Casios on this occasion, and I believe there's 9 watches in total. I could see what the watches were before I purchased them. It wasn't one of those job lots where it was just a pile of watches or anything like that. I could see them. There was 2 watches in particular that interested me, and you guys can probably already guess. If any of you have seen the previous videos, you might guess which 2 in particular they were. But we'll go through the watches anyway and just see what we found today. Okay, so the first watch that we pick out here is a watch that I actually got in a previous job lot that you guys may have seen in the previous video I did. It's the Casio W96, I believe. Yep. And in that previous video I explained that I think the main features of this watch is the legibility, the crisp dial, the fact that it's larger, and obviously the 10-year battery life, which you can see displayed at the bottom there too. This one is missing its strap, but as you can see it's working, so that's quite nice that it's working. Let's see what else we've got. Okay, first things first, this is one of the watches that I bought this watch lot for. There were actually 2 of these in the images, so you'll see another one shortly. This one has the 3298 module. It's the W86, the Casio W86, so I think this is like the 4th or 5th one that I've picked up in these lots, in these experiments that I'm trying to do. And okay, wow, this is beat up. I did see that in the images, but boy does it look pretty bad in person too. This is the F91. It was just part of the lot. It's not one that I want. I've actually got 2 or 3 of them already, but it was part of the lot and it's super beat up. My one, the first one, well, the one that I wear often, is pretty beat up, but even that is not as bad as this. So this has really had a good life, which is nice to see. And can I sell it on its own? Probably not. Can I throw it in a lot? Yes, of course I can. Here we go with the other one. Now, in the images I couldn't actually tell, but you can see from in the video that this colorway is actually different to this one. It's the same model, but I believe this is an older version, because this also has a slightly different module in it, which you can just see there. It's the 1574, I believe. Now, this has got the 3298, so I guess this is what this watch used to look like before it was updated, and I actually prefer this colorway, this slightly darker turquoise. It just appeals to me more, but unfortunately the case itself is pretty beat up, so it's very hard for me to kind of bring this back to life in any sort of condition that's like worth keeping long term. But again, these are the 2 that I wanted to pick this job lot up for. I'll try and get them working, and hopefully that will go a long way to paying for the lot. I'll probably keep one of them, probably the darker one, even though it's pretty beat up, because it's just different from the others that I own. Here we go with the next watch, this Casio. I love that sort of holographic shimmer that you get on some of these digital dials. This is the W94, I believe. Yep, W94, and not a watch I'm familiar with at all. I've always wanted a Casio with the light button that was on the front, and this has that. I'm probably not going to keep it. It is pretty bad condition, but I will try and get it started, get it working, because if you can get these watches working, you're going to get a better price for them. So all of the watches here that you see that aren't working are with the Casios. I will attempt to get them started. With some other job lots, there'll be a bunch of watches that I don't even try to get batteries into. and I just sell them as lots. But with these Casios, I will try and get them working. Here we've got the Casio, let's have a look, A164. The A168 is the one that I really love. This one is like the version of that without the electroluminescence. It's not one that I really like. Some people really like it because it's got a more classic design. It's less in your face. It's more restrained, some would say, and it's got that classic font. I don't like that. That classic font on the bottom there is not for me, which is why I don't own one of these, although I have been tempted in the past. Yeah, this one is very, very beat up. You can see it's missing two of its screws actually, but that's not a major issue. You can just replace those. It's gonna need a good clean. It's really beat up. I'm gonna have to wash my hands again after this as well. That is, if it was in really pristine condition, it's easily a £20 watch, but in that condition, I'm not really sure what we can do with that, to be honest. Okay, so we've got another F91 here, and by the looks of it, it is working. This condition is not that bad. This is actually in better condition than the one I wear, so maybe we'll think about keeping that. Maybe we'll think about doing something with that, because again, these F91s I absolutely adore, and I can never get enough of them, really. Okay, so we've got something a bit different. This one is something very reminiscent of a G-Shock. It's obviously got the light button on the front as well, which is cool. It's a white watch. I don't own a white Casio. I don't know if I will. I can't actually see the model name because the seller seems to have stuck stickers on each of these. Maybe they're all color-coded, so maybe he's color-coded them in tested, untested, and things like that, working, not working, but I'm not that's not for certain. But yeah, so I don't know the model of this. I'll have to do some research. You guys out there, if you guys are really into Casios, you might know, and you can let me know in the comments. But it's a really cool looking watch. I don't know if it's a backlight or a LED backlight or electroluminescence, but I'm kind of leaning towards an LED backlight on this one. Again, I'll get some batteries in there and hopefully get it running again before we try and sell it. And then, okay, so last but not least, this is what we've got, and it is a ladies Casio, a nice neat little ladies Casio. I've always thought these are really cute, and it's working, as you can see. You've got the stopwatch, the alarm, the time, no date on this one. It's very nice. So you've got a timer function as well. Oh, okay, you do have an alarm. I will need to do a bit more investigation into the watch itself, because I've never used one, but I think that I've just set the timer off by the looks of it. Let's see if I can reset that. Okay, that's reset. So it's got a timer on it. It's got a stopwatch and an alarm by the looks of it. No date though. Nice little neat watch. I think I can definitely move it on, sell it. How much for, I'm not sure. Now, is this watch lot worth £30? If you separate the 3 watches that work, are they worth £30? Probably not. Maybe 20 for the 3. That's potentially possible. But if you wanted to move it on really quick, you could easily move on all 3 of these for £10 to £15, I think. With the rest, if you can get, let's exclude these for the moment, if we can get these working, again, I think easily, on this occasion, 15 to 20, maybe even more, depending on what after the research I do on these watches, to see they may be really sought after and things like that. People who collect Casios, they like what they like, and ones you wouldn't expect to be really sought after and things like that turn out to be. So you never know, but I will have a look and see. And then obviously with the W86s, if I can get them running, easy 20 to 30 on each of those. So when you look at it like that, £30 for the lot, I think that's pretty worth it. Again, it's a bit of a running theme. I haven't actually moved on all of these watches and actually made the money from any of these lots that I've been making videos on yet, but the running theme so far is that there seems to be good value in these job lots, especially if you're willing to put the time in and obviously spend money on the batteries and things like that. But you can buy batteries virtually wholesale. You get them quite cheap if you do so. If you're willing to spend that time and get them running again, I think there's good value in job lots. A lot of the lots you buy, especially from Vinted and things like that, because they're not really professional sellers. They're just people who've owned these watches over the years, and they've just got probably a drawer full of junk watches that they've never replaced the batteries on or whatever it is, and then they just throw into a lot and see if they can sell them on Vinted or even eBay sometimes. So in those occasions, like, they're not willing to put in the work, or they may not even realize that all they need to do is change the battery, and then that watch has now got it's got its life back, firstly, of course, but it's got some real value to it. So they sell them on, and if you're willing to put in the work, you've got a chance to firstly make a bit of extra money, maybe add to your collection as well, and have some fun going through some really cool watches. So for me, it's always a win-win. But in the end, whether I'll actually make back the money I've spent on all these lots, it's a bit of a tricky one. I'll have to let you guys know, but I do feel like there's definitely potential there within each lot that I've bought to make the money back and more, and to also obtain one or two watches, which, if you did make the money back, would be free after all, apart from your time. Time is money, guys. So but if you're enjoying yourself, if you're doing it as a bit of a hobby, then really it's not work, so you're not trying to evaluate how much your time is worth per hour, etc. So yeah, this is the Casio lot. I believe I've got one more lot to go, and that will be the end of the series. Again, we'll do a tally up video at the end of all of that. In the meantime, I'll be spending a lot of time trying to get these watches and some of the other watches from the previous videos working again, adding batteries, buying batteries, etc, etc. And then we'll go from there and we'll see. Thank you very, very much for tuning in, guys. I do hope you will try. You guys will tune in again for some of the other videos that I make in this particular series, and other videos that I've made for other subjects and topics that I'm interested in. Some of the videos that you might see in the future, I've got a couple of unboxing videos of some really nice watches that I've bought, that I'm going to put out recently, that I've bought very recently, and those are more high-end watches. Some of them are micro brands. So on this particular channel, you'll see all sorts. You're going to see watches from the very lowest of the low to not the highest of the high, because I simply can't afford it, but you're going to see some really cool high-end watches as well. So thank you again for tuning in. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye-bye.